What does it take to be consistent beyond the average? It requires enough good reasons. We have a lot of excuses in our life to actually hold us from not going towards the person that we think that we can become, the things that we think we can accomplish, and it ends up leaving our souls dry. And so I think to myself, how can I possibly inspire other people to be more consistent in life? Because I know that 80% of the job is showing up, is just being there and giving enough of a shit. To show up, literally just to show up. And the closest thing that I can equate that I think most people will understand is perhaps working out. Those of you that have the physique that you've been looking for, those of you that have the aspirations in life and have been able to execute on those aspirations, you understand already that there is a level of pain that comes with showing up consistently. There's a level of pain in the moment that you say to yourself, I don't want to do this, but I will anyway. And a lot of us are trying to live lives where we don't have to make that decision. In fact, we consistently make the easier decision, and then we wonder why it is that we've ended up where we're at. And I'm here to tell you that the reasons, my friend, they need to be good enough. They need to take the entirety of who you are as a person into consideration, and they need to push you forward consistently. So my name's Turab. I make videos about emotional intelligence every day, and my goal really is to give humanity at least some sort of outline of the type of person that you have to aspire to become in your life if you want to make the decisions in your freedom, if you want to actually end up creating the life around you that you want, the people around you, the opportunities around you, the little joys in life around you that you believe you deserve. You have to show up, and coming up with the reasons is quite simple. Simply stated, I want you to think back to when you were 8 years old. Simply stated. For those of you that are older than me, I'm sure it's even harder. But for those of you that are in college and those of you that are in their 20s, what it really comes down to is when a question like this is posed, think about what you were like when you were 8 years old. If you've never thought about what you were like when you're 8 years old, you should not expect to come up with all of the conclusions right then and there. But the way that I see it, and the way that a lot of ideas have impacted my life, is I've allowed them to access my subconscious. I've allowed them to exist within me while I go about doing the ordinary daily tasks. And by virtue of that, when I am dwelling, or when I am daydreaming, or when I have a chance to take a break for a second, those questions, they almost haunt me. And it makes me come up with conclusions that I would otherwise not come up with. It makes me come up with experiences that perhaps I might have forgotten. Perhaps experiences that were so formative that I just take them for granted. And so the reason that I say really think about who you were as a person before the age of 8 years old is because it has a tremendous amount of impact on what we enjoy doing now. It has all of the reasons. It has all of the why behind it. Because that 8-year-old still exists within you, still exists within me. And that 8-year-old really just wants to have some fun and enjoy life. And so my reason, my why a lot of the time for the things that I do is that I want to make sure that my child self is as happy as possible. And that means that if I have to go and wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and attend a couple of meetings consecutively, days of the week, perhaps for months, perhaps for years, then I'll do it. Because I know that the outcome of such a thing is my child self saying, hey, you have the time and the resources to do what you want to do. And at the end of the day, if he's happy, I can probably guarantee that everyone else around me is better, is somehow more improved, somehow more stimulated, somehow more aspirational, inspired in life. Because, man, when we get older, as we continue to grow, so many responsibilities come into our plate that we forget that we even exist. A lot of the time we forget that we need to be a little selfish in our pursuit, and we need to actually care about how we feel and how our body feels, how our mind feels. You know, those little instances of self-love translate into a lifetime of actually wanting to know how others feel and actually wanting to impact other people to a degree. In my estimation of the quality of an individual, the worth, the vigor of an individual is really how much helping they're doing for their community, their society, and other human beings and nature. Literally, like these plants behind me, you know, like actually caring about the thing that created us. And most of the people that I look up to, that I aspire to be like in my life, are those that have spent a significant amount of time disciplining themselves, but have also spent a lot of time having to self-soothe. The concept of self-soothing is one that I believe is lost in the anxiety culture. And what I'm talking about is when this generation of young girls are told that by their parents or by older people that not only is it okay to use anxiety as an excuse, but it is okay to use it as a reason for not doing things. And I'm here to tell you to wake the fuck up. If you're an anxious person and you're assuming that by virtue of having that trait, that quality, your life will be any better, you're probably not thinking very much. If, however, you are an anxious person and you know that the anxiety actually translates to productivity, a sense of emotion in life, then chances are you're already taking action to make your life a little bit better. And I get really fed up these days when I talk to people a little bit younger than me, in the sense that they have these goals and these expectations, but they haven't spent the time, the resources, the energy to actually accumulate the correct knowledge to be able to move closer in that direction. And then when they get hit in the face with something that actually might be useful to them, they say to themselves that there is something else they would rather spend their money or time or resources on. Then I wonder to myself, well, where exactly is this person going to end up? And chances are they could end up fucking anywhere, because at any given moment of your life, you might be able to wake up and say to yourself, okay, this is the path that I'm on now. Regardless, it will always require showing up and making sure that when we show up, that we are as presentable as possible, as inspired and as happy, as good a contributor to the situation as we possibly can be. And that is my pursuit of excellence personally. I want to be someone that is reliable. I want to be someone that is respected enough for my decisions to go through and actually make an impact on society. And I want to be someone that can sit alone and reflect as much as is needed to move forward, to make wise decisions in general. So I say to you, in the most real sense, that your consistency is everything. Really. Even if it is a stagnant progression, even if it is a plateau, the consistency is everything. Because at the very least, if you're consistent, you're reliable. And if you're reliable, people can build on or around you. It's like having a foundation that's made out of clay, you know, or made out of dirt or sand. If you don't have that foundation, there's nothing that can be built around you. So I encourage you to build that in your life. If you're not already, some of the simplest ways that I can think of is having enough good reasons to go to sleep later and enough good reasons to wake up early. accountability. Start something, follow through as much as you possibly can. And the muscle builds over time, I promise you. So hopefully you found this inspiring. Hopefully you found it interesting. I just came home from work. And I was told I needed to make some more content. So, bro, I haven't missed a day of work forever. It feels like, you know? I haven't missed a day of showing up for myself forever. And I would like to think that it is a light for other people. Actualize your potential catalyst. This will lead you. Take care of yourself. See you on the other side.